But you felt that this Bond should have been a gentler Bond.
Yeah, I think he should have been more humane, more understanding towards people in general. And he's not such a Superman, even though he's been taught karate and judo, and he's an expert with a gun, and he's a physical beast, you know, if anyone wants to tangle with him.
Well, how about the director? Did he agree with your idea of Bond?
Well, no, they had a set formula, which was a winner previous, and you can't blame them for not agreeing with me, because I, as a learner, I felt quite confident that if they did change it, you know, like putting pop music behind it, and rather than the sort of light music they have, and things like that, it would have lifted the whole thing up again into another decade, 1970.
Come in. You poor dears. We simply didn't know when to expect you. First it was tea time yesterday, and then dinner. And it was only half an hour ago we really knew you were on your way. The doctor left strict orders you're not to be disturbed until this evening. He'll be delighted if you'll join him for dinner. Shall I say you'll be there?
Tell him I also will be delighted.
Splendid.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Good evening.
Darn it. After that big exciting scene and Bond looking like he's finally out of harm's way, he's caught by some bad guys and is brought to the villain. So this time their meeting isn't as artificially polite as the first time they met. The villain reveals he knows who Bond is and might even say something like, "You lost, 007," or something cooler in their villain talk.
You lost, 007.
Since now Bond is surely going to die, the villain helps Bond and us out by explaining his plan. This could be looked at as a really stupid move, but I mean, Bond is practically dead right now, so what's the worry about telling him everything in painstaking detail as to what the villain has up his sleeve, right? This is an inevitable scene that's been joked about since the beginning of the series, and there is an element of the logic to it. Why wouldn't the villain just kill Bond right now and not bother telling him any of this? I suppose that after all the trouble Bond has caused, the villain feels he deserves to know what exactly was going on all this time, and what he wasn't able to find out. Since he survived long enough, he earned some of the villain's respect.
Usually when a man gets in my way. But you were different. You cost me time, money, effort. You damaged my organization and my pride. I was curious to see what kind of a man you were. I thought there might even be a place for you with Spectre.
I'm flattered.
And this could also be an arrogant, childish, nah, 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 you're so dumb kind of thing. Whatever the reason, Bond learns all about what the villain's plans are.
Well, I don't mind talking. I get a kick out of watching the great James Bond find out what a bloody fool he's been making of himself.
Bond is taken to an elaborate place for a really distinctive death. All hope is lost. It's a shame, too, because now Bond has all the information as to the villain's plan. Times, locations, all the details he would need to stop him. But he won't be able to because he's really gonna die, folks.
Farewell, Mr. Bond. That word has, I must admit, a welcome ring of permanency about it.
Just shooting Bond isn't good enough. Nah, you can't really trust bullets. Plus, that's such an old-fashioned way to kill someone. The villain wants to be sure that Bond is dead and wants to make his death as unpleasant as possible. To me, getting shot would be unpleasant enough, but this is Bond's world. So Bond is rigged up in some kind of crazy device where death will surely get him, and it will be the end of 007 once and for all. And even better, it won't be instantaneous. There's going to be a certain amount of time before it happens. Bond will have some time to reflect on his life, his mistakes, his triumphs, before, wham, he's dead. What an evil thing to do. I guess that's the villain's thinking. I mean, the idea that Bond might use that time to escape apparently doesn't cross his mind. I would have suggested using one of the various ways he's killed people throughout the movie to kill Bond too. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Those ways seem pretty effective. I mean, we haven't seen any of those people come back. but I guess he doesn't want to repeat himself or something. The villain might be brilliant running his empire and organizing world domination plans, but this one, it's not his smartest moment.
I didn't think it would end like this.
We're not dead yet.
I never fail, Mr. Bond.
I bid you farewell.
Good night, Mr. Bond.
Ciao, bello.
So the villain bids Bond adieu and goes off to his business and leaves Bond alone, with no one watching him, with a small amount of time before he's going to die. But he's not going to escape. Bond makes an incredible escape. These death trap scenes can occur multiple times in the story, and each time Bond manages to escape them. The best escapes are the surprising ones, solutions that the audience didn't think of and are unexpected.
The detonator. Now listen carefully. Set time for the explosion here. To activate, insert and twist the lever a quarter turn clockwise. Be at least 20 miles away when it goes off.
Is everything proceeding according to plan?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. It is a time for celebration.
Only minutes more, Carl. Nothing can stop it now.
The new era will begin.
When the warhead is ready for its final voyage, we will drink a toast. There is nothing that can stop us anymore.
So now the villain is thinking Bond is dead and is not worried in the least. He thinks nothing can stop his plan from going full steam ahead. If he only knew that Bond is very much alive and more determined than ever to stop him. But things just keep piling up, and now Bond has to save his leading lady too.
Kanaga's in town. He's got your girl with him. They just took off.
Somehow she's fallen into the villain's clutches and she's in danger, along with everything else.
Do not live in hope, my dear. There is no one to rescue you.
T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds, and counting.
Usually the villain's plan will have some kind of bomb involved. The bomb going off will be the key to the whole plan, and if it detonates, then all is lost and the villain has won. Fortunately, we'll be able to see how much time is ticking away from a big clock counting down. The bomb will always have a nice big countdown clock on it, so we can see how much time Bond has left to defuse it and save the world. There's always some kind of clock ticking away in the films. It probably should get its own credit. There's only so much time left before the bomb goes off, or war is declared, or they nuke the site, or Bond's minutes run out, or something. The clock's look might change from film to film, but their basic function of adding tension is always the same. It's an old trick to get the audience on the edge of their seats and amp up the suspense as the film crosscuts between the clock getting closer to zero and Bond trying to stop it. It wouldn't really be that thrilling of a third act if Bond could just casually drive over to the villains with plenty of time to spare, with no countdown to worry about. So we have the leading lady in danger, important officials who are helpless and nervous, the villain ready to easily complete his plan with nothing standing in his way, the world on the brink of chaos, and Bond, the only one who can stop it all. This is intense.